so to make this pie crust, you're gonna need 2 egg yolks, flour, and very cold cubed butter, and preferably a food processor. It is doable without one. You're just gonna have to put a little muscle into it. So first we're going to add the flour. Get it in your food processor or your bowl. If you're not using a food processor, you can use a pastry cutter, you can use a fork, which you probably have, hopefully, and just do what the food processor is going to do, which is going to basically break up and cut up the butter and make it like a sandy consistency. I would chop your butter smaller than this so it's easier, but you want your butter to be cold. Add your butter. And I'm gonna add whatever seasonings, flavors I want to my crust. If you're doing savory, do savory flavors. If you're doing sweet, you can do sweet, or you can just make it a really basic crust with no flavors at all. The butter will still be really tasty, just butter, flour, and egg. Okay, now we're going to blend this all together until it resembles, like I said, that sandy texture. Let's do some Let's test that out. Watch out for the blade, don't cut yourself. See? Okay, we've got some clumps of butter still, so we're gonna keep pulsing it. Okay, let's check it again. Sorry for the shaky, wobbly lens. Remember, look out for the blade, but it looks like our consistency is good. Everything's mixed evenly. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add our eggs, and we're going to add them gradually, and just the yolks. To separate it, your hand is clean, so you simply just tuck your hand under the yolk gently and just let the whites kind of just drip through your fingers. It's easier when you have 2 hands to do this. You would just kind of like scoop them in between each other. So I'm gonna do that real quick. And there you have it, a beautifully separated yolk. This thing is not easy to open with one hand. There we go. Alright, so 1 yolk at a time. Be careful, you do not want to. There we go. Let's add that other yolk and then do that stuff again. Okay, using my handy dandy little pitcher again, I'm going to be adding this to this little spout, and this is going to start to come together a little bit. Might have to use our hands, so we'll see. Alright, let's kind of use the spatula to kind of bring it back in. Sorry. Okay. Add the rest of the little bit of water. It's only 4 tablespoons of water. This is where we're going to have to start to use our hands. So remove your blade. Knock off the stuff that's on the blade. And then kind of use your hand to bring it together. And it's gonna, you'll feel the moisture kind of binding, and that'll form into a ball. Okay, so you see it's kind of crumbled. Just kind of use your hands to smash it all together to form that ball. You don't want it to be too wet, and you also don't want it to be too dry. It's a lot like the crackers that I made recently. Like I said in that video, it's very similar, like a pie crust, and these are like crackers. You can actually make crackers out of these if you wanted to make a sweet cracker. See, it's starting to form that ball. Keep bringing those crumbs in. Okay, so I'm going to set this into like just a little disc. Let it rest for about 45 minutes. Wrap in either a plastic bag or plastic wrap. We're going to set it in the fridge. And shaping it into this disc is going to make it easier to roll out whenever it comes to that time. Time for the fridge. Okay, so I'm going to make them little mini apple pies in a cupcake pan. So, separating, going to keep this half of the pie crust cooled while we work with this piece. And now you're just going to roll it out flat and try to get it in a circle, and then we're going to cut them out with little cookie cutters, with a circle cookie cutter to fit inside the pan. Don't be afraid of the cracks that it forms. Just form them back together. That's just what pie crust does. Make sure your bottom's not sticking to the counter. Okay, so hand reference, I'm not sure how many inches wide this is. Circle cutter, my dough is completely flat. I'm going to set a little place of flour on the side for me to dip my cutter in. Here's my pan. Alright, and then just cut around. I'm going to get a spatula. Actually, I have my scraper. What am I thinking? Something very thin to pick it right back up with. Careful to not mess up the rest of the dough. And there you go. Perfectly cut pie crust. Lay it inside one of the little circles. Press down. Kind of let it fall. Be careful to not rip the dough. And then just press around the sides. Make sure it's all even and flat. You kind of want your dough to hang over the edge a little bit, because when we blind bake it, it's going to shrink a little bit probably, so just kind of try to work around that. And these are going to be like personal serving sizes, ones that you can freeze, and I'm pretty sure they'll be good for up to a month. I'll have to double check that. I'll put that in the information below. Put little tiny holes in the bottom of your crust. It helps it to prevent it from A, a soggy bottom, and B, puffing up. Okay, we're going to do something called blind baking, which is where you're going to place baking beans in the center of the pie crust before you put your filling in, and it's going to help your pie crust prevent it from getting a soggy bottom. And I'm lining it with plastic wrap because it doesn't stay in long enough for it to like fully melt. So plastic wrap is totally fine. So you're going to set the plastic wrap in the center of the pan. Press down to where it's fitting. And then you're going to fill it with baking beans, which is basically any type of bean. Dry bean. I should specify that. Make sure you don't have any beans that fell through. You don't want it baking into your crust. Alright, and then you just cover it, press it around the edge, and then repeat. Do the rest of them. Or if you're doing just like a regular pie, then just do that one pie. Okay, and now we're going to bake these at 400 degrees, preheated, for about anywhere between 7 to 10 minutes. If you're doing a regular size pie, you're going to do it 9 to 12 minutes. Okay, our pies are blind baked. And now I have my filling, which is just apples, brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, and a few other secret ingredients. The pies are filled. And now we're going to start laying our other dough. So for the lattice work, I went ahead and did some pre-slicing of just these thin little strips. And what you're going to do is you're going to basically do like a weaving technique. Be very gentle. And do the every other ones and lay right across that. And then lay it right back over. And just keep repeating that. I'll show you. You're just going to keep repeating that. Are covered, egg washed, and sprinkled with extra sugar. Give you different patterns. And there's your pies.